A recent study in Wisconsin showed that bats living in people's bat houses in their yards, they looked at the droppings of those bats and genetically analyzed to see what they were eating, and they found that those bats living in bat houses were eating 15 species of mosquitoes, 9 of which carried West Nile virus.
Do we get West Nile virus in Texas? Is that common?
I don't think it's real common.
But it's possible?
Yeah.
So a bat house, and this is a photo of a bat house that you have on the cover of your book. I didn't even know that these were a thing. They're like bird houses, but it's a bat house.
Yeah, except that they're open at the bottom instead of a hole in the front with a floor.
And so people put these up and construct them purposely so bats can live in them.
Right.
And how do you get a bat to get in there?
Well, just like birds, they find them and decide they like them.
Oh, wow. Look at that picture. That's crazy.
That bat house was occupied by 105 bats within a week of the time it was put up.
Oh, yeah, you have the little Batman logo on the front of it, too. So within a week it was put up, there was over 100 bats in there.
That's right. Now, I wouldn't say that that's what you'd expect all the time. It often takes 6 months to a year, even sometimes a year and a half to 2 years to track bats. But if you put up the right kind of bat house in the right kind of place, you'll probably attract some bats, and it can be a lot of fun.
And what is the right kind of bat house? Like, do you have to put something in there to attract them?
No, just roosting crevices are 3/4 of an inch to an inch wide usually. The bats like those narrow crevices because they're used to snakes coming after them. And like if a big rat snake comes into a bat house to try to catch a bat, if the bat's roosting in a place only 3/4 of an inch wide, the snake comes in, he can't open his mouth wide enough to get around the bat's head. But the bat opens his mouth and bites the snake's nose. So I suspect that's a large part of why bats like those narrow crevices is protection against one of their dominant predators.
That makes sense. So you would set one of these things up, leave it, and that would help control all sorts of mosquitoes and pests and things that are on your property.
Yes. Putting up bat houses can be a big help in many ways. There's a recent study done in the Mediterranean that showed that when they put up bat houses strategically located around rice paddies, that they no longer had to use pesticides.
Really? That's amazing. Like, how many bats do you need to control pest? Like, what kind of bugs are we talking about besides mosquitoes?
Those were moths that they were controlling, and bats have been found helping protect rice in Thailand where they're eating white-bellied planthoppers. They'll eat a wide variety of insects. One important point to make, we hear a lot about the importance of biodiversity, and the bat houses in the Mediterranean that successfully eliminated the need for pesticides, they didn't mean that there were never any more pests or that there was no pest damage. What the bats have to do to eliminate the need for pesticides is just lower the damage to a level where the cost of the damage is less than it costs to put pesticides out. So the reason that worked was that there was a national park not very far away, and so, if you just have miles of monoculture, what do the bats do in the off season when your pests aren't there? They're going to starve to death. And so by having diverse habitat not far away, in the off season, the bats had a place to go eat until they were needed over the rice paddies again.
Okay. That makes sense.